Welcome to Paranormal Nightshift, your home for all things that go bump in the dark and your fan stories told here. Anonymous writes in, please don't tell my name when you're telling this story. I don't want people questioning me or my family. But will you please give the fake name a name that I know? So, M-A-R, Mar, is what you have asked to be called. Now you know this is your story. For this story, I'm going to need to start at the beginning. My mom always had me going to homes and feel it out. Ever since I was a kid, I would let her know if I felt something good or bad, some kind of presence in the house before we would rent them. I was able to feel the energy, but my brother, he could see it. As teenagers, we were fascinated with the paranormal. We grew up in northeast Nevada, and we would go explore the old abandoned gold mines and the ghost towns. I remember we went into a park one time, and the story behind the park was that a man went crazy and unalived his whole entire family, then burned himself alive at the house. I remember that when we went to the property, before we got there, my brother was in a great mood. He was very happy. But then the moment we stepped foot on the property, he started screaming. He became so mad. Ghosts aren't real. If you were real, you would show yourself. That's what you would do. I don't believe in you. You're not real. He was taunting the spirits, continuously screaming, you're not real. You would show yourself if you're real. I could clearly feel energy myself. It got cold and dark, and whatever he was doing was making the spirits very mad. Once he started yelling louder and louder, our phone's flashes started glitching out. They would turn on and off, and when they would turn on, we could see a shadowy figure crossing our path. None of us had dropped our phone or messed with our phones. The flashes were just going off. They was still in our pocket. We used a rock as a tripod, all while my brother was trying to communicate and taunt whatever spirits were there. Something inside of him had changed. He had grown so angry, screaming at all things paranormal. We left that night, but something had stuck to him. My once happy brother was now mad. He'd get so mad that he would actually have seizures, and he would not be himself. He would come back, and I would speak to him, and he couldn't remember anything about it. He couldn't remember what he was even doing before he had a seizure. I had a daughter a few years after that incident. I kind of got away from my brother. He was on a very downhill slope. But I picked him up one night for a party, and as we were walking down the stairs to leave, he started yelling at me, "We have to go help the lady." What? "We have to go help the lady." Looking into this portrait in the parking lot. "We have to go help the lady." He just got more and more mad at little things. Help what lady? The lady on the advertisement? What are you even talking about? "We have to help the lady." He got into like a trance-like state. I put him in my car, but he kept screaming about the lady. After watching his behavior and realizing he couldn't take care of himself anymore, my boyfriend and I decided that it would be best that he moved in with us. That way we could at least watch over him, give him some sense of normality. This is where the story gets really scary. The upstairs had 2 bedrooms, and the downstairs of our apartment had a living room and a kitchen. There was a portrait that would hang on the wall. Just keep in mind this portrait. It'll come into play later. I have a huge canvas portrait of Marilyn Monroe hanging on my wall. It's something that belonged to our mother, and one of the only things that I still have. The moment he moved in with us, we started noticing small things at first. Cups moving, keys being misplaced, things would go missing, nothing seemed to be where you put it. We'd hear bumps and creaks. I would hear my brother up at night talking to somebody. Finally, one night, me and my boyfriend went into his room and saw him standing there, talking to somebody in the closet. I didn't want to interrupt him, but I asked him, Do you see something? Is there someone talking to you?" He slowly turned around and said, "Yeah, it's my Indian friend. He says he doesn't like it here." My boyfriend and I didn't know what to do. How do you convince somebody that they're talking to something that there's nothing there. I'll admit my brother was not a saint by any means. He had some issues, and he ended up going to jail. The moment he went to jail, the paranormal activity in our house got so much worse. Everything became very dark, like automatically. The day he went to jail, everything in the house changed. Cups were now smashing against the walls. I felt scared. I felt scared for my daughter. Then the drums started. The drums started like Indian war drums that you would hear. It just continued to bang and bang and bang. One night it was just so loud. It was waking my daughter up. My boyfriend heard it as well. The whole energy in the house felt so dark, so demonic. The sound of the drums, the crashing of things coming off of the walls, everything felt so dark. The next day I went to visit my brother in jail. I have to talk to you. I don't know what happened, but you have to tell your friend he cannot be in our house. I'm scared for my daughter. I don't know, but you have to tell whatever it is you talk to, your Indian friend, whatever it is, you have to tell him he's not welcome in our house anymore. He told me that if I got him out, he would help me get rid of whatever was there. My boyfriend and I paid his bond, and he came to our house that day. He got everything that he had with him, and the paranormal activity just suddenly stopped. It just didn't happen anymore. My brother said this would be the last time we saw him, not to worry about him anymore. He disappeared. Nobody has seen him. But the day he left, the big painting on the wall, the Marilyn Monroe painting, I could see tears coming out of it, as if her mascara was smeared. It looked like somebody might have spilt something on it, but it wasn't. It was crying. Don't know what dark energy has attached itself to my brother, but I know wherever he goes, it follows.